All right, Cowherd, will this controversy impact the Patriots this season?
Well, Belichick and Brady are already in unison, calling it fake news. So we know they've talked about it and they have a game plan.
I think they called it no comment news, but go ahead.
I think what New England does really uniquely well is they compartmentalize stuff. And then, here's the game, and then here's Spygate. Here's the game, and here's Deflategate. This is unique, though, because it's more internal. It's not the league against New England. It's not rivals pointing fingers. It's this internal thing. But it feels like with Brady and Belichick, their answers are the exact same, which is, I don't know what you're talking about. So that feels like, classic Bill and Tom, they're in unison. So they've already sat down, discussed it. How are we going to deliver it to the media? It's fake news. It's very Trumpian.
I don't think they had to sit down. I think the culture has been built there that they've been programmed. This is the way we respond when these type questions get asked. I don't think they're calling it fake news. I think they're calling it news that they're not going to address. We're not talking about it. We're on to the Buffalo Bills. Will it impact them this season? I think you could put together a case that it already has. If you go look at the stories that are being written, they tried to arrange a meeting the week of the Miami Dolphins game, right before the Dolphins game, a meeting between Guerrero, Belichick, Brady, Robert Kraft being the arbiter. Couldn't make it happen. And lo and behold, the Patriots have their worst performance of the year down in Miami. Anytime there's a rift between the coach and the the quarterback and the head coach, and we've seen Brady perhaps take out some of his frustration on Josh McDaniels because he knows he can't do it to Bill Belichick. Do I think it will have an impact on this season? I think it already has. Does that mean I don't think that they're not going to win the Super Bowl? That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying Brady and Belichick are not working in unison the way they have in previous years.
That feels right to me.
For me, it's more so Brady believes in Alex.
You know Alex.
I know him personally. I've been knowing him since I was a teenager, over 20 years. And Tom Brady believes in what he does. The players on that team, they believe in everything that he tells them because they work on him, he works on them, and they feel better afterwards. For the most part, NFL training rooms, ice and stem. Ice and stem. Go get in the cold tub. That's what they do. Alex is different. He's going to diagnose you, and he's going to see what's wrong. He's going to work with you for a couple hours, and training staffs, too many players. They don't have the time to do all of that. And so
there's a belief system. You believe with Alex, the players buy it.
100%, because if in your mind you feel like what he's doing works, it works.
Get you more money, get you more years.
I know you never played for Belichick, but just imagine you're Belichick and the trainer that everyone trusts or half your team trusts is bad-mouthing Belichick. That's a problem.
I don't know whether that's true or not, but in my opinion, for Bill Belichick to give Alex that access, I'm sure Bill Belichick has had work done on him by Alex. And so
old guys get bad backs. I can attest to that.
He knows what Alex does is legit. Alex would be out here working on different players. And Willie McGinnis brought Alex Guerrero to the NFL and to the Patriots. And he started working with Tom, and the rest is history. Alex knows what he's doing. Tom Brady believes in him.
Why wouldn't they just hire him then, full time? Why wouldn't they make him the guy?
Because he's Tom's guy is the reason why. And listen, you have a strength and conditioning department, and you got a training staff. And those guys are getting paid. And when you have some guy that comes in from outside the organization that has more credibility with the players than the strength and conditioning and the training staff, that's problematic. So I guarantee you what happened was they went to Bill. Hey, because if you look at how this thing is trending, sooner or later it's going to get to a point where Alex Guerrero is going to be the strength and conditioning coach and the trainers for this team, and the Patriots are going to fire those two staffs and have him bring his own people in.
But see, this
has all been about
Brady,
self-preservation with those two groups.
Brady wants that exclusivity. He wants that personal time with Alex. So Alex, he doesn't want to be the trainer. He wants to just work with Brady and select guys. He doesn't want he can't give Brady all that time if the Patriots hire him.
But TJ, the training staff and the strength and conditioning coaches, they're not looking at it that way. They see more and more guys going
How's
to this guy.
Belichick looking at it?
Well, Belichick is looking at it like, this is problematic for us internally because we got this strife. There's a part of this team from a strength and conditioning and training staff that's a part of what we do, and then we got Tom's guru, and he's causing us problems. We don't need no problems. We need things to go smooth. We're in the playoffs.
You see an impact? Do you think there'll be an impact on this season? Will this rift, be any problem on the field?
No, because every time that the Patriots have had some issues, what do? They find a way to overcome it. And I don't think this is going to be any different. I think one of the reasons why you just saw Bill Belichick and Tom Brady take the stance that they took is because they're trying to whitewash the whole thing, make it go away so they can get the media and everybody else focused on what's most important, and that's football.
Let's go to your point yesterday, or pretty much all this week. What do you think about the relationship between Belichick and Brady beyond this season? Do you think there's a rift here that could linger and cause these two to split up prematurely?
Yeah, I think I believe strongly that Belichick and Bob Kraft chose Brady over Belichick because Belichick wanted to move off Brady. He had Garoppolo. And John Lynch told me yesterday that New England told them when they got Garoppolo, he's amazing. And Albert Breer, a guy I trust, told me 2 days ago that New England was like, yeah, this is what we told you he would do. Belichick was moving off Tom. Listen, you get 5-6 Super Bowls, you got what you... And just like the Niners did with Montana and Manning and Favre, and they had their Aaron Rodgers, they had their Steve Young, they had their Andrew Luck, and then Bob Kraft says, no, I'm siding with the player, and Belichick's like, okay, I'm moving Garoppolo out of town for nothing, I'm moving Brissett out of town, and by the way, Tommy, this relationship, it's not working either. I think Kraft and Belichick are at odds.
The reason why I buy your theory, the part you're leaving out, remember how the Patriots acted out of character all offseason in terms of they went into win now mode and started bringing Brandon Cooks and blah, blah. And we started saying, well, hold on, this isn't how Bill operates. And so perhaps Bill Belichick is the guy that is about to bounce. Maybe this is his last year.
I think listen, there's just stuff going on in the last year that is so non-Belichick.
That's a good theory. I hadn't heard that one. That was pretty good, actually. that really.
So you learn stuff on this show,
As
PJ.
you said that, I'm thinking, and I thinking about that makes a lot of sense. That really does make a lot of sense. That it was a power struggle, and
listen, this is the way Shaq, Kobe, you guys, you can't have American icons work together for 15 years, and at the end, some guys want to take credit.
And what Seth said earlier to me is a big point, is the credibility that the players have with Alex, the trust that they have in Alex is the reason this is a problem.
Right.
It's because they don't want to go to the trainers. Everybody wants to see Alex. And it's the Bradys, the Gronkowski, the starters.
And by the way,
those are the guys Alex is working with.
And the more they want to go to Alex, the less control Belichick has, and he's already lost control of this team because Kraft wouldn't let him trade Brady.
I just got a bone to pick, Colin. I just, this whole theory that, that Robert Kraft sided with Tom Brady, and because he sided with Tom Brady, okay, I'm giving these other quarterbacks away. That to me, that makes no sense whatsoever. I look at it from the most practical standpoints. They had to move these two quarterbacks while they could move them and get something for him. Jimmy G, his contract is up. Okay, what are you going to...
Second-round pick?
They knew that a year ago.
They spent a second-round pick on him.
But he's clearly more valuable than a second-round pick.
In today's marketplace, he's worth 4 picks.
Nobody knew...
Cleveland would have given him a first-round pick.
Nobody knew that Tom Brady was going to be Tom Brady. He was a 6th-round pick. There are so many guys that get picked later on. They gave a second-round pick for a guy that they spent a second-round pick on, so they got value. We're trying to make it seem like Jimmy Garoppolo's going to win 8 Super Bowls and supersede everybody. He ain't done nothing yet.
If you bought a car...
He beat 3 teams that are marginal. That's all he's done.
If you bought a car on the market and you paid $1,000, and then 3 years later you knew on the market it was worth $20, and you only got what you paid for it, you got taken. Jimmy Garoppolo was understood throughout the league as
anytime
a steal.
Anytime we buy a new car, we get taken. The minute you drive it off the lot, Colin.
You can't see Josh McDaniels being the coach of the Patriots next year, sliding right in there.
You know what? I always believed that Tom Brady and Belichick would walk away in lockstep.
I don't think so anymore.
Listen, I think the Steelers are the only other team that has more Super Bowl wins than New England by one Super Bowl. Okay, if they continue to have what's in place for them to win the Super Bowl, it would be utter
and what's
absurdity.
This place is the culture that Belichick set up, where he's at the top of the food chain. There is no outside influence. Alex Guerrero is an outside influence that's clearly bothering Belichick. It undermines the whole thing that no one's bigger than the system and the culture and Belichick.
Alex has been there for years.
Yes,
Thank you.
no,
He's been there
Alex
for years.
has been there for years.
He's been there for years.
It didn't bother him when he was there doing what he was doing.
Because for years, Kraft didn't tell Belichick how to run his team. Within the last year, Kraft, this has been reported, told him, you can't trade Tommy. That was the beginning of the end of this troika.
But also, Colin, I just think Alex Guerrero's influence has gotten larger and larger and larger. He was just working with Tommy. Now they're talking about it's half the damn roster.
Well, it wasn't just Tom. He was working with Tom. He was working with Wes Welker. He was working with Ellington.
Guys,
he was working with
all
those guys.
successful men have one thing in common: ego. Alex, Tom, Kraft, Belichick. Are we shocked that at the end of their run, egos are clashing? This is the way mobs work, companies work, teams work.
If they had a problem shining a light on Alex, they just made it that much bigger because they're making him. Listen, we got TJ on the show today. Didn't even know that he knew him. Okay, he vouching for him.
You're the best reporter we've had at this network in a year.
Listen, he got his friends texting him, talking about, hey, Alex is the truth.
I'm gonna go look up Alex. See him on the weight loss program.
Everybody's gonna be on.